Good way to start the stream. Eating ramen. ASMR. Hope you guys like it. Got my fancy new mic. Welcome to the Fuck Bitches Get Money podcast. Or eat ramen. And talk about shit. Okay. Now we're good. I am in America. I was in Europe for a long time and now I'm back to America. I'm in America. How do I get to smash quickly without turning her off from catching feelings in the event I really like her? Besides yourself. Man, all you do is ask questions about who's good at game. It's literally every question that you ask. Ask something practical. I don't know why you're obsessed with these questions. Just ask something about yourself. Okay, so Vilethorn, you're misinterpreting what we say about disqualifying yourself as a boyfriend. We're not saying, maybe this should be better clarified in when we give advice. Your goal isn't to completely disqualify yourself as a boyfriend candidate. That's not going to be... It's going to hurt you in a lot of ways because when you are having no boyfriend value at all, the issue is that you're going to have a hard time getting the lays a lot. But the goal is to just make it you're not boyfriend zoned. Like, oh, this isn't the guy who's going to take forever to maybe end up with me after like weeks or months and slowly earning his way into my pants through like I offer a relationship and sex and he gives me relationship and sex. There's going to be an equal exchange of you give sex for sex and a relationship for a relationship if it goes in that direction. But you should only really be disqualifying yourself as a boyfriend if you find that you are getting boyfriend zoned a lot. Like if girls take it slow with you. If that's the case, then you need to show yourself as more of a lover. You don't have to say anything like I'm not looking for a relationship. You just have to show qualities that aren't the slow guy route. Does that make sense? Because if you completely disqualify yourself as a boyfriend, the chances of you, even if you fuck her, seeing her again are very low. Think of it as a scale, right? It's like here's super boyfriend, and then here's super lover. They're on the extremes of being very in their box. The boyfriend is the archetypical, I want to get to know you, I'm sensitive, blah, blah, blah. The lover is, yeah, I'm just looking to have fun, I have commitment issues, whatever. Those are extremes. And if you want a girl to sleep with you quickly, usually most people have in their mind there's two kinds of people. There's the fuckboys and then there's the boyfriends. And then the friend zone is a third category. But the only two guys that she'll actually end up with are either a boyfriend or a lover. Your job is to take that scale and move it in the direction of a guy who's you can sleep with her quickly. So Ashaman said boyfriend zone I think really means a guy who would judge a girl for sleeping with him too soon, whereas a lover is a guy who will not judge her. That's one possibility, and that's one reason why women might not sleep with you quickly, because they're afraid that if they do, you will judge them for sleeping with you too quickly. And a lot of girls think that way, but that's not the only thing that is edging you in that direction. I'm thinking of starting an amog channel. Do you know what that means? Amog is like the term you would use to like put someone in their place when they're acting too tough. Or a guy will come over and like try to act tough to get, you know, to mess up your set with a girl or his friend who's a girl that he likes, but you're hitting on her. So if you're starting a channel just based on that, that's pretty aggressive. What's up, Hector? Before I ask my question, I want to say thank you and Trace are the most influential men that have impacted my social life. I'm happy to hear that. Are button downs too try hard for college? I'm about to transfer. No! One of the best things that I ever did was dress really, really, really well. And button down slacks, leather shoes, nice jacket. Like, when I really started to take care of my appearance in college, that was one of the most drastic things that I did to my my results, people respecting me, my self-respect, my understanding of how important how you look has an effect on people. You seem a little pale. What? It's probably because I have a big light on my face, right? It's probably too bright. Let me turn it down. No? Let me see. Why is it not working? No. No. What the fuck? What channel is this on? I have this light. I don't know why it's not working. God, I'm so unprepared. Whatever. I'll fix it later. How's the spaghetti? It's good. The ramen is good. Yeah, good luck on your weight loss journey, man. Good luck. Definitely. Once you, because obviously you don't want to buy nice clothes when you're losing weight. Good luck on your journey, man. Once you get to a, whatever body type you're looking for, buy some new clothes. You'll definitely get a lot better reactions. Like really, really good reactions. Makes a huge difference. Huge, huge, huge difference. There we go. Do. Uh-oh. Nope. Okay. Why is Pickup and Ripple so obsessed with building value? Yeah. Yep. Good catch. That's one of their biggest weaknesses. Is that that's all they do is focus on that shit. So, the reason why you get caught up in the value game, which I have too, is when you see the world that has rich people, famous people, good-looking people, tall people, they have all these things that are just better than you. And then you see this pattern that people who are better than you get girls. And you're left wondering, what is it exactly that got them the girl? Like, was it their car? Was it their looks? Was it their outfit? What specifically was it that made them go with him and not me? He's funnier than you, whatever. And then you start to train yourself to get better at things, and you start getting better results. So you go, oh, obvious logic. I didn't have this before, and I wasn't getting results. Now I have this. Oh. So every time I level up, there's more results. So this pattern should continue to go ching, 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 ching. Why don't I just maximize this variable, and I should have an exponential growth based on this principle of get better at X, get Y back, get better at X, and just press the gas to the pedal. The problem with this is that it's missing a few very, very crucial things that are always working in the background, but you're not seeing them. You're only seeing the variable of value. You're not seeing that it was at some point in the conversation you had a moment of vulnerability, or you had a moment of relaxation, so you aren't just the over-the-top charismatic funny guy. You had a moment where you seemed genuinely interested in her. Something that had what we can call attainability or building a connection with her. And this was very important in the seduction process. But then you review it all, and in your mind you're only, oh, well, I did this better, or I did this better, or I put on a few pounds of muscle. That was the reason I succeeded. So it's just bad scientific experimentation. It's bad analysis. Then all these other guys start making YouTube channels and shit, and they start just pounding that it's value, value, value. So you start to believe, oh, it really is value. But these guys aren't philosophers, and they're not really intellectual thinkers for the most part. They try, but they're not exactly good at it. If you're really good at true philosophy and breaking things down and figuring out why what's going on is going on, you will see that it is so much more dynamic than value. However, what most people do then is they go to the extreme. They go, oh, value has nothing to do with it. This is the whatever they call the blue pill shit, right? Oh, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it happens, it happens. You know, it doesn't matter if you're good looking or charismatic. It's okay. Well, yeah, good luck with that. Obviously, that's working really well for you. They only focus on the variable of a connection. So it's just people being one-dimensional with their thinking. That's it. Where can I get your charisma in a bottle course? That's Chase's course. Let me... Charisma in a bottle. Girls Chase. Right here. I Googled it. And I found it. But there you go. There is charisma in a bottle. Tom, thanks, man. Hope everything goes well for you, too. Aw, that's very sweet. I appreciate the $5. You're cool. Again, good luck on your fitness journey. And, yeah, man. Keep rocking. It's eating. It's so much about your eating. I mean, I'm eating ramen right now, right? Is this the healthiest thing? No. But do I need to lose weight? Also no. If anything, I gotta put on a few pounds. Oh, now it's working. My light's working. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to be playing with the light. Just ignore me if you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? It's a bit too warm. Better. What's the best way to diagnose what was off? Well, yeah, coaching, as you say. Weren't you supposed to message me, Khalil? You were the guy with the kid. You knocked out some chick, right? And now you're wondering how to be a single dad? So, how to figure out what's wrong? is the hardest part of seduction. The second hardest part is actually improving it in a meaningful way, like in a steady way. When you're looking over a relationship or a date or something like that, you're kind of left with all these little moments. And you're wondering, like, okay, where exactly did it go wrong? And the problem is you look at the effect of, like, where it's wrong because you didn't notice the moment it started. You need to go back to the moment it started to go downhill, but it's very difficult to see that because it's a small change. It's not like she goes from interested to disinterested. There's this whole thing right here. And you have to catch the moment it started to fuck up. So if you look back on a date, what you need to do is you need to ask yourself, was there a moment where I felt that I was acting differently and I was having to try harder, I was having to put in more effort? At some point, I started acting strangely, because when you start acting strangely, it's your instinctual reaction to something going wrong, but you're not consciously aware of it yet. So look back on the date and be like, was there a point where I started trying to be more funny, trying harder, and that was when I instinctually knew, deep down inside, that I was starting to lose it? Then it's going to be around there. But if you look for only her reactions, unless you pay really good attention, you're going to maybe think of something as minor when that was the beginning of the end. Or you're going to focus only on the major moment, but that's down the line and you miss the actual thing that started it all. So try to find the moment you started to act differently. Or she started to, but it was small. Consistent. A girl can, like, react badly to one thing, or not react badly, like an awkward pause, an awkward silence, you tell a joke and she didn't get it, some kind of interruption in the flow. That's fine. But when it's a consistent, her mood has shifted, that's what you want to try and find. And once you find the area, then you got to find the exact thing it was, and that you got to pay close attention to that. And usually, it's going to fall under one of the areas of you showed too much arousal, like too turned on, or not enough, I guess. You showed, and thereby that makes it seem like you don't actually care about her as a person. Or you just didn't show any interest in her as a person, like, not because you're only trying to get in her pants, but because, there's not a lot of true spark behind you, true fire in wanting to get to know who she is. It could have to do with respect, like maybe you made her feel lesser in some way, like you kind of ignored something, you didn't quite recognize something that, maybe she said something that was important in her life, and she doesn't feel like you quite reacted the way she wanted you to react. Something it came off like in some way that you don't respect her in the way that you respect another man, where you're like, hey man, I respect what you do and how hard you work and blah 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 blah. So it's gonna come in you too much of a fuckboy. You're not trying to connect with her, or the opposite. You had a moment where you should have escalated with her, and because you didn't escalate with her, you weren't fuckboy enough. She's gonna feel like you're not reading her signals, and she's not gonna recognize it as, oh well, he didn't catch my escalation window. Like, girls aren't thinking like that, but they're just gonna feel like there was a connection, then there wasn't. Like, her awareness of why it's going wrong is very, most of the time, unclear. But a lot of times they are pretty aware of what's going on. But you should have made a move. So arousal, positive or negative, or like a lack of a positive, or too much of too much of it, which becomes a negative. Respect, something you did made her feel disrespected, or you just didn't try to build a bond with her. Somewhere in there is the reason she lost attraction for you. Then you have to train that thing. And that's also very difficult. You got to know what you did and then how to train it. Training it is pretty much not doing it. Like, I know that sounds obvious, but just not making that same mistake. Like, if you theorize that girls aren't feeling like you're building a connection with them, so you're not asking enough questions, or you're not showing enough interest when you are, like, it doesn't feel like you're 100% present, then ask yourself, how do I become more present? In what way can I show with my facial expressions, like, oh wow, that's so cool, like you look genuinely interested, you sound genuinely interested, you show you're genuinely interested with your your questions, and practice that and see if that problem goes away. If so, you plugged that hole in the ship. Hey Uchiha, good to see you, man. Why do I always hesitate when I'm about to score? Because it's kind of like that I didn't think I'd get this far situation. You know what you kind of have to do, but then once you get there, you're like, oh, I really didn't think I'd be here. So it's just unfamiliarity. Also, sometimes I thought of it as I'm afraid of succeeding, because then I have to live up to that new identity. Like, I'm so used to fucking up that it's at least comfortable, right? But now, holy shit, I gotta perform, because then if I close with her and bring her home, okay, now I have to really perform, and so that can be a lot of pressure. So you're almost, sometimes it can be you're afraid of a failure, like you don't want to get rejected, or you're afraid of success, because success means that you have to constantly live up to, oh, she thinks I'm this cool hot guy and she's ready to go home with me right now. Oh, this feels strange, like I'm not usually this guy. And you freeze, because you realize that if you continue, like, you almost feel like a fraud. So I guess it's all really fear of failure, but it comes in different forms. Nightclubs and bars help for my channel. Yeah. I think basing your entire channel off of social defense, verbal self-defense, it's a bit negative. I wouldn't base my entire channel on that. Something just doesn't sit right with me about it. And you ask a lot of questions about, like, who's the best, who's the best, who's the... You seem a bit too obsessed with stuff like that. Like, it's even difficult to make a metric for that. Like, how do I know who's the best? I mean, I'm the best, but how do you know? I shouldn't have been an hour late for this. More than an hour late. To be completely honest, I was playing Street Fighter all night with my friends from here in this area. I haven't seen them in like 10 years. I was up till 7 in the morning. I just drove home like 2 hours ago. Less than 2 hours ago. Right. Mick, KCM. There's nothing wrong with your questions in theory, right? But here's my job as a coach. I see a pattern, right? The questions that someone asks says something about where they're at, right? And I see you consistently asking questions about who's the best, who's the best, who's the best. Obviously, there's a good intention behind it in some way, right? You want to know if someone's a fraud or not. But asking someone if they're not a fraud isn't really an accurate way to figure out if they're a fraud or not, right? Or if they're great. Everyone's going to say they're the greatest. If you go to any other channel and he doesn't say he's the greatest, there's something wrong with it. He shouldn't be running a channel if he doesn't think he's one of the best in the business. Because you shouldn't be giving mediocre dating advice. It's stupid. I mean, I guess it's better than what most people are dealing with, but he should think he has the best shit. So I see you asking these questions, and yes, in theory, like, they're okay, but there's something behind it. Like, my job as a coach is to find out what's really going on with what's really going on with your journey and what you need and what you want, right? So that's why I'm kind of challenging your questions, because I feel like you should be focusing on something else. That's just my intention, or my observation. Why am I 50-50 when talking to girls? It's like I want her in this next second. I don't. Let me, Brian, how many girls have you been with? Are you like a beginner? I don't know if you are, but guys who are beginners, they tend to see girls as girlfriend candidates. So what happens when you like her and they don't like her is you're putting her on this, like, oh, she needs to meet these standards. Whereas a lover is just kind of like, am I interested in her? Do I want to fuck her? Okay. That's what's driving him. And then the considerations of her as a girlfriend are later. But a lot of beginner guys always judge girls as girlfriends, so that's why they have this, like, hot and cold feelings about girls. And they don't have this, like players are like, boom, I'm in. Can you talk about LDR? How to maintain if you can't see each other every month? How often to communicate? So, when you're in a long distance relationship, if you think of a normal relationship, like, you see her, you know, once or twice a week, right? In the beginning stages, right? Maybe later on it ramps up. I know a lot of people are like they have a girlfriend and she spends the night 5 nights a week. Like that's you shouldn't do that too fast because it just builds up too much of a precedent. If you can keep it up, it's okay, right? But it's difficult. But normally, if like you have work and your girl has work, you're gonna be seeing her like 1 to 2 times a week, maybe three, right? Um, but normally 1 or 2, right? So if you think about that, that's 2 nights a week for 4 weeks. In a month, that's 8 times you see her. So that's how a normal relationship is working. If you're having long distance, you need to find a way to get as close to that number as possible. So what me and my wife did when we first started dating was she would take like 5 days off of work every month, right? She'd save up her weekends, right? She would, you know, use a vacation day, but also like, okay, she's gonna work 6 days a week, this week's, and then later on she can just use that whole weekend just to come see me. So she came to visit me and she'd stay for 5, 6, 7 days. So we'd get a full time together just all in one shot rather than over a long period of time. So if you're willing to make that sacrifice, you can make it work. But if you're not seeing them in person for at least 4 to 5 days a month, it's going to be difficult. How often texting? You should text as much as possible. I mean, still follow the rules of texting. Like if you're always starting the conversations, okay. But you should always be you should. I mean, it's your girlfriend. You can text her all you want, But yeah, you need to be fucking her every month, like seeing her and fucking her. I mean, some relationships can last long distance, but it tends to fuck things up, from what I've seen. Prenups. Thoughts on that? If you have a high net worth and, you meet a girl, maybe but fuck, if you're getting a prenup, it kind of feels like you already fucked up. I mean, I get it. If a guy really is worth a lot, just don't get fucking married then. Basically, if you feel like you have to get a prenup, you probably shouldn't marry this girl. Like, it's always good to have insurance, but you're kind of already saying that this is not, very likely to work out. So if you don't have that level of confidence, you shouldn't be marrying her. I personally don't have one. I mean, I'm not high net worth right now, so if I did in the future, I would feel like my wife was part of helping me. I mean, she wasn't there, doing all the work, but in the past few years, she's been instrumental in helping me out in so many ways that it's very hard to quantify or qualify, the impact that her support and emotionally, time has been in making me a better man. Especially when I went through like all my anxiety and PTSD from Ukraine. So it's very hard to quantify the support of a wife. And so I would say that she definitely deserves a part of my income. Definitely. I mean, she's one of the reasons why I went sober, and that's had a huge impact. Her and Buddhism were like the two reasons why I went sober. So, and she didn't tell me to. Like, she never bothered me about my drinking or my, smoking. She just inspired me to be better, right? But no, I mean, she deserves, I'll give her anything she wants. If tomorrow she decided to leave and I'd give her everything I could. Because for me, I already know this is all impermanent, right? I mean, I'm half tempted to go and be a monk a lot of times, right? I almost did twice, It's not really my path for couple reasons. I think it just doesn't fit my personality too well. But if worse came to worse and, you know, someone took everything from me, I'd just go be a monk. Like, I don't really have too much attachment to the things I have. I mean, I do, but at the same time I don't. So a prenup, I don't know, man. It kind of feels like you're already fucked up. But, you know, if you're a high net worth individual, okay, right? But if you're not yet and she's part of your growth, well, she kind of probably deserves a bit of what you're getting. When I started reading the Tipitaka, I thought I would become ascetic. Now I'm on the middle discourses and then a layman path. He's talking about the Buddhist text. The Tipitaka is it's the discourses basket of the Buddhist Pali canon, like the original early texts of Buddhism. How to live according to Dhamma, which is like the teaching, yet improve my game as much as possible. So basically, as long as you follow the 5 precepts, don't harm living beings, don't steal, don't lie, don't fuck girls with boyfriends or cheat on your girlfriend or wife. And then things like if you're her boss or, you know, anything where there's, I mean, if you're a high value guy and she's interested in you, then, you know, that's different. Like a girl sleeping with a celebrity, I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But if, like, you're her boss and there's some sort of, like, that's a true power imbalance, then that's probably, you know, probably not the right thing to do. Or any deception or, you know, manipulation. And, well, manipulation and seduction is hard unless you're just straight up lying. You know, girls aren't really stupid, you know. But they will believe you if you lie. So you definitely shouldn't lie. But, you know, if girl has expectations of you and this and that, I mean, not a lot of that is your responsibility. You can't control someone's expectations too much. I mean, to a certain extent, you can control what you communicate. But if a girl gets it in her head that she really likes you and wants to date you, I mean, you're not intentionally trying to hurt her if you just fuck her and then don't get serious with her. But do your best to not hurt a girl. And definitely don't screw with girls who have boyfriends or husbands. And don't cheat on your girlfriend or your wife. And don't drink and don't take any intoxicants. No weed, no nothing. I mean, if you want to drink coffee or smoke cigarettes, that's fine. But don't, you know, no weed, no alcohol, no nothing like that. If you follow the 5 precepts, you're fine. Go be a normal person. Go be a layman and just practice the Dhamma. Just try and meditate as often as you possibly can. Try to be as mindful as you possibly can, as much as you can. The harder you put in work, the better. And then be as good at game as you want. There's no difference between wanting to get really good with girls and wanting to get really good at video games or wanting to get really good at your job. There's no distinction. The only thing is relationships and sex are a bit messy when it comes to emotions. So there is a high potential of hurting people if you're not smart, right? That's the only thing you really need to worry about. And I guess getting lost in your own lust can have some negative effects. It's not necessarily evil, right? Evil is one of the 5 precepts, breaking it. It can be unwholesome to focus too much on sex, but if that's your thing, that's your thing. Playing video games 10 hours a day is also indulging in a different type of greed, right? Working out nonstop and only caring about fitness, that's just another level of greed. Just because it's quote-unquote healthy doesn't mean you're not obsessed with it, right? So greed is greed at the end of the day. So get good at whatever it is you want to get good at. Girls, games, business, throwing axes, I don't know what the fuck, you know, racing cars, whatever it is. Do what you want to do. So there's no conflict. A lot of people culturally are against, like, being super sexual, but I've read a lot of the Pali Canon. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having sex. Not at all, right? It just, it is a minefield of a thing, so you have to be careful doing it. But in and of itself, having sex is not evil. But you will have to temper it down if you want to get control of your lust. because it's very hard to burn wood when it's, when it's soaked in water. Think about that analogy for a little bit. Any tips on day gaming in the winter? I mean, do it. I don't really, I mean, you have to do it inside places like malls. Probably stick to malls or public transportations if you're in a place with like subways. But it's just going to be hard. I mean, there's seasons for everything. You seem totally legit, but an ex-coach who used to work for you guys said that Chase is basically just a writer, so that's where a lot of those questions come from. Oh, okay. Who is the ex-coach? I have a feeling who it is, but if they haven't met him, then they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're saying. No, but Chase knows what he's doing. I'll tell you that. He's not like a... Sorry, my nose is really stuffed up for some reason. I guess it's my allergy, so... I'm trying to eat and breathe at the same time, which is difficult. It's not the most comfortable. I mean, I shouldn't be eating on camera, but I'm fucking starving. So... Okay. Oh, Charisma King. Charisma King is talking shit on Chase? Ah. Whatever. I could give you some drama, or not even drama. Literally not even drama. Just like my interpretation of him, but I don't give a fuck. I literally couldn't care less about his fucking opinion. So he can say whatever the fuck he wants. It's a waste of time to even... Whatever. But no, don't worry. Chase knows what he's doing. He's just very chill. He's just super... He's not your... Hey, what's up? He's not good on video. He's not a video YouTuber. My personality suits YouTube and video content. Chase's does not. He's not a... Hey, what's up, guys? People have said that before when they meet him. They're like, is he really good with girls? Yeah, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. I know things about him that, are personal, so I don't want to say them, but I know that he knows what he's talking about. He's fine. He's just a very chill dude. And he's goofy. And he seems somewhat autistic, but he's not. he reads, he can read things pretty well. He's just goofy and he's very chill. But that just goes to show you that so many different personalities can work with girls. I work at a contact center. New girls every now and then. Some of them are cute. Try not to give them too much attention to avoid simping. I guess it's kind of like social circle, how to win here. Well, try not to give them attention isn't always the best move. I was super assertive, aggressive, whatever, passionate, very about it in social circle, right? But I owned it, right? If a girl wasn't interested in me, then I I go not cold like oh fuck you bitch, but like okay, I'll move on. And so I'd be like all over a girl, and she's kind of flirting with me, and then like kind of gives me the cold shoulder. Then I go rip, and I go to the next one, and then now she's interested because I just immediately switched, right? Um, but trying not to simp isn't. You probably think, oh, I'm not showing interest, so I'm not simping. Probably what you're actually doing in practice. I've seen this before, and I've tried it. Like you're just like ignoring her and giving nothing. That's not going to get you. Like if ignoring women was the way to attract them, then guys would just sit at home and girls would knock on their door, right? She has to actually know you're there and be interested in you. But the problem is in social circle, if you're not, status isn't important, but at the same time it is. So this is a very broad strokes explanation. But if you're not high status, then if you show too much interest, it comes off as you're trying too hard. Like if a high status guy just is very gregarious and outgoing, like I was in college, it's cool because that's just who I am. But if you're a nerd, lonely guy, loser, and you're like trying to hit on all these girls, then you just look like a tryhard. Like I've seen guys like that in college who they would give it a shot. Like they had the balls to go and talk to girls, and I was like, there's one guy in particular I can remember. Like he would have the balls to go approach, and I could see that girls were entertaining him in conversation, but he just didn't have that. He didn't have the charisma. He didn't know the game, And so I watched him and I was like, at least he's trying, but he wasn't really. And I'm sure he scores eventually from trying, but he wasn't really. He didn't have that shit, He didn't grind that skill set, and so it came off as try hard. Whereas me, I mean, certainly I came off as try hard many times, but a lot of times it's just who I am. You being high interest and showing a lot of sexuality, charisma, you're loud, whatever it is. If it comes off like that's just who you are, it's not something you're doing. It's gonna be less of a reputation hit, and it's gonna look less try hard, even if you're not high status. So that's very important in a social circle environment because people are going to talk. Here's the other thing. Don't ask all of them out. Flirt with every single girl, but be very careful who you ask out. So because once you ask a girl out, you're taking your shot. God, my fucking nose is just can't fucking breathe. Why did you take your wife out of Eastern Europe? Because it was a war zone? I know what you're asking, because you visited me in Romania. I know. Because I fucking hate Romania. I fucking hate Romania. I had my time there, but I don't like it anymore. If my wife got turned by Western woke culture, she wasn't a very good girl to begin with. There's some types of girls who are good girls because of their environment. And so they're playing chameleon. Right? They are like, let's think of a chick who's like in the Middle East, right? Wearing all the shit. You know, she's got the stuff. And she's your, you know, obedient, submissive, blah, 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 blah. But then something happens and you put her in the West. And she just goes nuts. She wasn't really... She didn't have that virtue in her heart, right? Like, this is even in Buddhism. Like, one of the monks that I was reading his you know, his writings, he was like, any fool can keep the 5 precepts, meaning like the basic rules of morality. But truly keeping morality in your heart, that takes a strong person. So would I say that, you know, a girl in an environment where she's virtuous because of the pressure of society, would I say it's overall a positive? Sure, it's overall a positive. But I'm not interested in society and making society virtuous and bringing back values, da 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 da. I have no control over any of that. Like, the amount of people who I'm going to impact is microscopic, right? It's significant, but it's microscopic. I'm interested in finding someone who works for you, right? And helping you find a girl and works for me. So I'm not interested in these broad ideas of culture and shit, right? So as long as it's not something egregious, like she's hanging out with a friend who takes her out to the club, and that shit wouldn't even start. There wouldn't even be a match for it to get, you know, for it to even get lit. Like, I would stop that shit the moment it happened. And if she was even tempted to do it, I would already know I'm in hot shit. Now, is there gray room? Obviously, you know, it's not so simple as, you know, oh, if a girl's going to cheat, she's going to cheat. Or, you know, if she's not that kind of person, she'll not do that. There are certain pressures that you can avoid, right? So I would keep her away from any influences that I think would be harmful. But I'm not too worried about her being corrupted in any way. Like, because she has enough, like, base principles to not be corrupted, and then I have enough base, like, control, you can call it, to help that not get corrupted. Hey, PG, thanks for the $10, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. How to meet a lot of cuties in college. I don't want to be known as a creep, and the party scene doesn't fit with my personality. All I do is interact open girls in the cafeteria, but it's slow as fuck. Yeah. Okay, so. One second. I gotta fucking clear my nose real quick. I cannot breathe. One second. Yeah, let me go blow my nose. I'm back. Better. My nose, I can actually breathe. Appreciate you guys waiting for me. So, how to meet a lot of cuties in college. Okay, so if you're not doing party, which I totally understand that you're not doing the party scene, that's cool. That's great. You know, don't drink, blah blah blah. You got to do direct, obviously, right? What I suggest you do is if you have a city or like there's a city nearby, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. That's where you need to go, even if you have to drive an hour. Like, go there and just practice the cold approach. Practice, right? It's free game. Like, no one's gonna, you know, it's not gonna get back to your reputation. And drill it so that your shit's really, really good. So that when you do cold approach on campus, it has the highest chance of success. Also, what you can do is only approach direct, like, hey, I think you're really pretty kind of shit, with girls you really think are hot. Like, you're 10 out of 10s. Because you should never let them, or like you're 9 out of 10s, whatever. Like, girls you really are attracted to. Don't let those girls slip by. The fear of looking like a creep is understandable. Like, the fact that you have that concern makes it likely that you're probably not going to be a creep, right? Creeps are guys who don't have that concern in the back of their head. So it's pretty good. But you have to also have the I could die tomorrow mentality. Because you could. So you should kind of be just fucking YOLOing shit also, right? I mean, you don't only live once, but you should sort of have that go-getter attitude if you were to only live once, right? So you seem like you have a good head on your shoulders. Could be wrong. You could be fucking crazy. But you seem, I don't know, just based on your comment, you probably have a good head on your shoulders. The fact that you're avoiding the party scene is a pretty good sign. So just chill. You know, like, I think you're okay with taking some risks. You're gonna fuck up an approach. Even if you do these super safe indirect opens in the cafeteria, you're gonna still creep a girl out. It's impossible to not. You could creep a girl out by never approaching a girl ever. By just being in a girl's presence, you could possibly creep her out. So, as long as you're not doing like 10 a week on your campus, like, you're gonna be okay. You can do like 1 or 2 a week. I think it also depends on the size of your campus. I mean, how fucking big is your campus? I was in a campus of like 6,000 undergraduates. So, you know, there weren't a lot of people. I think it was even less. Let me see. $4,000. Fuck, I thought it was larger. Yeah, it was 4,000. So, you know, I was small time, dude. That's as small as you get for a college, pretty much. And I was doing day game. And I was doing multiple a week. So, if you have anything bigger than that, you are fucking fine. But yeah, you got to do direct, dude. You got it. But go practice it in 18,000? The fuck are you fucking complaining about? Dude, you can approach as much as you want. It's a city, motherfucker. And if you have a city nearby, even better. But, you know, in the beginning, ramp it up. Don't just go nuts, right? Ramp it up. Go like, if you're not doing social circle at all, the chances of you getting reputation are like 0. Because you're not doing social circle. Who cares what your reputation is, right? The only concern you could have is some chick reporting you or something, which is very rare. I mean, it happens, but it's very rare. So I think you're fine, dude. But just go nuts in the city, and then, sorry guys, I've got like 2 hours of sleep, so I've been up till, I played for like 12 hours straight Street Fighter, you know, just practicing. Just go nuts, dude. Go super nuts. With like direct approaches on your campus, ramp it up first just to get comfortable with it. But then you could do like 5 a week. With 18,000 people, you could do 10 a week. But do 5 for the beginning. And then do a lot of approaches in the city, if there's a city nearby. Because if you have that big of an undergrad campus, you're definitely near some sort of fucking city. Devish. How do I stop overreacting and generally know what's worthy of reacting to and what's not? I don't know, dude. That's a fucking hard question. How do I know when to go for a girl and when not to? Or when to escalate with a girl? Well, I mean, we got to look at the situation, dude. But I will tell you this, Devish. I've worked with you for a long time. You tend to overreact. You have a very, very big ego. For whatever reason, you know. You must have been like some sort of aristocrat in your last life or something, you know. Because you have this like, I'm special. Which is good to have in a way. It'll help later on, but right now you don't deserve it. Denise Zuza. Why'd you delete your messages? I was just about to get your question. Nope. I was just about to get to your question. I don't know why you, Oh, yeah, I can listen to music. That'll wake me up. Make sure you guys are not hearing it. There we go. Why approach your personal tens more direct? Would it be higher chance of success if you opened indirect? Nope. You're stuck in old PUA mentality. I know it from your questions because you use the word DHV. Like, that's old school. No, indirect is not a higher chance of working. It's not. It's not. It's not. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. Going direct is just fine. You approach your personal tens more direct because I think it even works better with tens. Because most men are afraid of just straight up walking to a girl that they think is attractive and telling her they think she's attractive. Most really, truly beautiful girls don't get that a lot. I work Saturday to Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I live in a city with 1.5 million population. That's fine. Day game is an option. I'm seeing a lot of underage girls. Okay. Then just go for the... Oh, I understand. You're like the times that you're out to go out are probably when like teenagers are out. Well, probably go to areas where teenagers are not, like the business districts, right? Like people getting out of work, right? On like a Thursday and Friday when you're free. You're not going to find any 16 to 17-year-olds getting out of an office building, right? Just think. If you're out at the park, yeah, of course you're seeing underage girls. That's where all the like teeny boppers, the boys and the girls are going to walk around. So go to places where they're not going to be, like business districts. If you want a park or a mall, like, yeah, a lot of teens are going to be there. That's where they go hang out. I mean, I was a loser and I would still go to the mall to hang out. So go to, like, Yeah, business district. Have I played Stray? No. I'm pretty picky with what I play now. I get bored pretty easily. I think I'd get bored playing Stray. I think it's a cool... I would just watch it. Like, I would watch someone play it. I don't think I'd play it. It's more one of those movie games than a game. How do you stop putting girls on a pedestal? You realize that most of the reason why you're attracted to women is just because you want to fuck them. Even a lot of what you call romance is not actually romance. It's pretty eye-opening once you realize it. I mean, there is romance. I'm not saying that you're just a fucking animal, but... And that'll stop putting girls on a pedestal because you won't put them as this lofty ideal of, like, beauty or something. You're just like, I just want to fuck her in the ass. It makes things really honest and simple. I play... Right now I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. I play a lot of Street Fighter. Street Fighter 6, like, I play competitively. Like, I play with, like, damn near professional players. But I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. I love Dota. I love Final Fantasy 14. I'm probably going to jump back into that. I'm going to play Cyberpunk 2077 when the new expansion comes out in 2 days. Man, I love everything. The Metro series, Mordhau, Persona. I loved 4. I'm halfway through 5. All the Dark Souls games, Sekiro, Armored Core 6. Armored Core 6 was amazing. You should play it. Wasteland 3, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Hi-Fi Rush, The Ascent, Dishonored 2, Doom, all Final Fantasy games. I finished Final Fantasy 16. It was amazing. The ending sucked though. Hollow Knight, Kingdom Come Deliverance. Oh, those are some of the things on my Steam profile. Ghost of Tsushima, I got bored. I'm not gonna cap. I got really bored. I don't like the Ubisoft. At the end of the day, it's just an Ubisoft open world game. Like, I mean, it's gorgeous. The combat was fun. I played on Lethal, where it's like everything's like a one shot. That was great, but I got bored with the Ubisoft open world approach. It's not my thing. I didn't feel a desire to really finish it. Persona 5 Royal, how can I use it to improve my social skills? Learn why certain... Like that video I made on my channel. Why, like, certain dialogue options are better. Like, what is it about them that makes someone feel connected? Okay, so, Denny Souza, how much do you think game differs in more patriarchal countries? Okay. So, you're right. You live in Turkey and you're being more vulnerable rather than like, oh, I'm the tough guy. That's correct. So in an environment where everyone's the tough guy, you should be the super sensitive guy. It's going to work super well because everyone's trying the alpha thing. It's just boring. If you're in a society where everyone's a softie, you should be tough. even America, I would say you should work on being vulnerable. At the end of the day, every guy mostly is trying the alpha route. It's just the normal route. It's just the normal route. Guys who are, like, they're not even sensitive. They're just not even trying. They're pussies. The lover is always going to win. But especially in a super patriarchal society like Turkey, right? You should be super vulnerable. Because it's such a departure from what's normal. Because here in America, like, you gotta be a decent mix of, like, vulnerable, whatever, you know, like, emotional and tough. But you need to have enough threshold of tough where girls have respect for you. But then, you know, have the, like, lover mentality and, like, you're sensitive and you care about girls and maybe you're romantic and but also sexual. Like, it's really important. But you need to have the tough guy thing. But if you're in a place like Ukraine or, like, Romania or, like, Turkey, like, really, like, traditional values, you can actually err on the side of more, like, feminine and emotional, and you'll do really well because you'll contrast. Alright, Chase doesn't use a bath soap, lotion, or deodorant. Oh, for, like, your skin? I only use deodorant, like, when I'm going to the gym. But I make sure to scrub hard because when I first stopped using deodorant in college, all my friends were like, Hector, you smell like shit. Because what I was doing is I was forgetting to, like, scrub my armpits. Usually when I do things, I do it in the extreme. Oh, Hollis. God damn it. I'm sorry. I skipped you, my dude. I hope you're still here, Hollis. I kept meaning to get to yours, and then I don't know why. I kept fucking... I don't know. Thank you for the $10. So, how do you manage one-sided monogamous relationships over the long term? Currently in one right now and doing pretty good with day-to-day maintenance, but curious to hear your perspective on this. So, sorry to do the other thing, but he paid $10, so I gotta fucking answer this one for sure. Welcome to capitalism, baby. Okay, so, you're being open with the fact that you're one-sided, right? You're not, like, just cheating on her. I hope, right? Like, she knows you're fucking other girls. So, you can run it for a while. In theory, you could run it for a long time, right? But from what I saw in my situation, because I was one-sided monogamy with my wife, and then I switched to full monogamy for personal reasons, actually. I want to tame my lust, right? I want to not be so enthralled by my sexual appetite that it controls me and is my main goal in life, right? So I personally switched to full monogamy because I wanted to have one outlet for that river of lust, right? Now, do I think that there's anything inherently wrong with one-sided monogamy? I don't know. Sometimes I don't think so, but at the same time, I feel like it's one of those... On paper, it doesn't seem wrong, but is it really in the spirit of the law kind of thing? I always felt guilty doing it. Like, I don't think it's necessarily evil, as long as you're being open and honest about it and she accepts it. But do I think it's the most wholesome? That's a different question, right? So there's a distinction between, it's not wrong, but is it the most wholesome way to go about things? Because it does cause jealousy. Now, in some ways, women do, like, they can deny it all day, but girls really get wet over the fact that you fuck other bitches. Like, it's just, like, it's something so ingrained in them, and they like that you can get pussy. But at the same time, that can be true, and they can also still be hurt by it. So do you really want to hurt the person that you love and you care about? Well, no, obviously, right? So it's like this, okay. And it definitely suits the man more than it suits the woman, right? It doesn't have the same effects that it does if the woman is fucking other dudes. It's not the same thing. It's just not. So that's one aspect that you need to ask yourself. Like, do you if you truly agree with it, then do it, right? Like, if you think it's okay, then do it. Don't let my personal choices affect yours, right? But it's something that you need to consider. Secondly, in terms of just maintaining it, because of the fact that it is going to cause pain, you are going to get more drama than a guy who has switched to full monogamy. So you want to ask yourself, is it worth it practically? To make sense, like, is it worth the drama? Like, is getting the pussy on the side worth the, like, it depends what kind of girl she is. Like, is she the kind of girl who's going to use jealousy against you? Is she the kind of girl who... Because I know of another guy who could... I don't know if it's one-sided monogamy. They would have threesomes together. So it's a little bit weirder. And I don't know if I agree with her as a choice of a mate. Right? The situation I know about. But she'll kind of openly flirt with other guys. But they kind of... I don't think he shares her. No, he's not the guy who would share her. But he's in a circle that is more liberal, right? So she sometimes does act flirty around other guys. And I find that to be sometimes a symptom of his fact that he's chasing after other pussy, right? I think it's also her as a mate choice too, though. So you're gonna cause drama, and I don't know if that drama is gonna come in the form of jealousy, but you're gonna cause drama simply by the nature of your setup. So you have to make her feel extremely special. You have to treat her like she is the queen of the queens of the queens of the queens, right? And you really need to not be dating any of these girls. They need to be purely sex. Because then if you start to seeing these girls regularly, then you're really going to start to fuck it up. That's where I kind of started to see the cracks of my one-sided monogamy. When I was fucking this other chick, she was beautiful, and my girlfriend found out about her. She was my girlfriend at the time. She found out about the second girl, and she saw a picture of her, and she's like, she even told me, she's like, oh my god, she's beautiful. And she knew that I kind of liked this girl more than just as a fuck. And I was like, yeah, and that kind of made things difficult. I ended up shutting that second girl down because she ended up disqualifying herself as a girlfriend. But I also felt like, man, do I really want two girlfriends? Like, holy shit. So you have to keep it strictly to sex. It has to be strictly sex. It's more implicit, but she knows. Is it? Is it? Come on, man. Is it? You gotta be open, man. I don't agree with the implicit. I don't agree with the implicit. You gotta just fucking be open with that shit, bro. That's what a real boss does. Is he's open. No implicit shit. Alright, guys. I'm fucking tanking. It's almost an hour and a half. Hopefully, I was late to this. I've gotten like 2 hours of sleep. So, I need to fucking nap. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'll do another one next week. I will be on time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please check all the links in the description. Buy my shit. Sign up for coaching. That's the best way you can learn. Learn from me one-on-one. So message me on Instagram if you want to talk about coaching. Best way to learn. Buy my shit. Go fuck yourself. I love you. I need to go. I'm tired as fuck. Bye.